So my name is Femi Onifade. I grew up in Nigeria for 25 years. I've been around some places in West Africa for my schooling, so I had a bit of that nomadic lifestyle. I grew up in a boarding house in high school and junior high school, so yeah, that really reinforces my nomadic lifestyle. So my university started from when I went to school in Benin Republic. I spent a year there, and I left there because of the language barrier. And I went to Ghana to finish my 4 years in undergrad in engineering. That's my mechanical engineering undergrad. And from there, I came to Canada, But before I came to Canada, I worked for 5 years in a sugar company in Nigeria. Since 2022, I was doing my master's degree in energy systems engineering, but I just finished that now. For me, I'm more of a nomad because I move from place to place. So I've had to call multiple places my home for the sake of, trying to incorporate myself there, trying to fit in, not fit in to be like one of them, just be like them, so I won't stand out in a very negative way. You can stand out in a positive way, not in a negative way. Those are two different things. You can stand out and fit in at the same time, is what I'm trying to say. So for me, home is a place where you should have a sense of belonging. You should be free. You should have the sense of security to be able to call the place home. And yeah, once you have those two things, your freedom and your security, and the fact that you have a few friends there, here and there, and from family too, would be nice, is what I would consider home. Belonging is standing out and fitting in. If you want to say you have a sense of belonging to a place, you could say it's a place where to feel among is a place where you're adding, contributing to the society there in a positive way. It's a place where you have security and you're able to express yourself freely without the fear of segregation or discrimination. That's what would build on my sense of belonging in a place. And if I don't have those things, I would like to exit myself from that place. One of those few bridges that I can think about right off the bat is my moral upbringing. It really makes me feel, when I'm here, it really makes me feel like I'm a monk, because Newfoundland and Labrador is a place where the people are really they're really brought up right, if I would say. They're really respectful. And I know some people might think that take that respect as just being polite, but some people, if you really get to know them quite well, you would see that they were actually brought up well. And that was one thing that was really incorporated, or say beaten into me as a child growing up in Nigeria, and it kind of stuck quite well. And another thing too is quite obvious, the language. There is not really much language barrier between Nigeria, where I grew up in, and Newfoundland, except the accent. The accent really gets to you sometimes. It's quite fun too when you hear. We gotta go get me moves by. As immigrants coming here from Nigeria, you really do have to have a memento, something that you bring from home that would always remind you of home. And one of those things is my bead. It was preyed upon by some of my family, so I've had this now for close to, say, 5 years now. The yellow on the bead is kind of like the cowries. That was it's cowries are if people really know their history, well, cowries are kind of the currency, and they're used for prayers. And I come from a family of priests, or divinity priests, so this is something that was preyed upon for divinity and protection. So it was preyed upon to give me good luck. The beads itself are the ones that hold the major significance, not the actual band. The band will always change, but the beads will remain the same. Kind of how I see myself coming here. I'll always change my location, but who I am as a person will always remain the same. Newfoundland is quite a small province. I can't really say I expect like too much to be done, but I'll say we should like, start from somewhere. There have been a lot of black people in Newfoundland. There were a lot of Newfoundland. You should really look into the book Black Harbor. It really talks about like the first black people that came into Newfoundland back then.